Hey there, Scrappy peeps. It's Shelly, and I am here for a planning video with my April 2025 Stories by the Month kit. So, I have just gotten the kit in the mail, and I opened the package and got rid of the 4x6 pieces. I've also got the April 2024 kit and some pieces of the community story kit which go along with it, so I'll do that second. I've already got some notes that I have the 2024 remnants here. There, let me pull this over so that I get a better picture in frame. So I've got a note here for 2024 remnants, and then in the 2023 class there's some downloads. So I'm just going to open this up, and I forgot to check my phone for holidays in April, so I'm gonna stop and then come back. All right, I've written down, so there's April Fools on the 1st. And then there's Burrito Day on the 3rd, and I can get behind that. Passover, I'm not Jewish, but I know what that is. Then Good Friday is on the 18th. Easter is on the 20th. Earth Day is on the 22nd. And National Arbor Day is on the 24th. So I wanted to make note of those so that I could pay attention to the products when I put them in the week. So how I usually do it is I'll put the products in that I want to use in the page protectors in the weeks that I want to use them, sort of like a mini kit for the week. And already in here is my 6x8 page to put my calendar page in for April. And so I'm just going to start flipping through this kit and see if there are any ideas sparked for me. This whole kit has the same color scheme. So I think it's going to end up being just picking some cards to go in the weeks that they go in. And I know that sometime in the spring there's Week in the Life usually, and then so I don't know everything that's going to happen, but I'm just going to guess what you water grows here. These are florals, so I like these florals together, and these kind of go with that. So this might be enough for a whole week here with these cute little florals and then the packaging. And I actually like that together. So this one's like that too. Here's to slow and steady blooming and growth. Yeah, I like that. Let's see, what else? Okay, so far, I am not doing this linearly today. Let's see. So we got these florals. And this card, because it says what you water grows. When I initially saw this, I thought I would cut this off and then use this part as to cut up for journaling cards, because I can't see writing on this here. So maybe I should write that, but I like this as a title because it says what I'm cultivating right now. So, I'll write that down as an idea. So I'm writing cut off what you water for a prompt, and then the color will be a filler card. So I like that, and I like these together. And so with these, one idea I had was to use these as prompts so there's 9 of these embellishments in the kit, and these say this life, who, what, when, where, why, this story, learning and living. Okay, so that's what those say. And then these say nothing. They don't have anything on them. And so I had 2 ideas for this. I was thinking it would be okay to cut these in half, and then you can use it, either put a number here, or you could just write 2 or 3 things about it. So they lend themselves to being cut in half, except for this one. This one could potentially be a title for a date, so that leads me to my second idea. So all of these except this one, I guess this one could technically too be cut in half. Then the second idea I had was to use them as a journaling spot on a flip up. So if you adhered it on top of your photo, then you can type out your journaling or write a small bit of detail about it. I don't always have small enough handwriting for that. So I am way far over. So on this one, I thought if I did a flip up, then you can see the photo and you have the journaling. And that was my thought on that. So for these circles, if you had them cut off, right, then you could put them at the bottom or the side or the top of a photo. But if you didn't have room for that, or if it was a collage photo, then you can have a flip up. And with the number of these, I could use them on 1 or 2 spreads throughout April. And I thought that would work to use up all or most of these, since this design with these flowers is a very specific sort of design. So that was my thought with these. And I like the idea of putting it together with at least this title. So the second idea is to cut in half the circles or the vellum flip up. And I like it with vellum because I like the way that vellum sort of mutes the colors underneath. So I'm just going to put these aside, all of them together right now, and see what else is in the kit. And this here is already in here from last year. So this is a 2024 item that was left over from last year that I did not use. So I've got that here as my title, even though usually my April card marks the beginning. Where's my April card? So this one's a little weird. So there's this one, and actually I think that makes a little more sense than this being here. So this goes here. So I'm going to stick this April card from this kit in here. And that will be there, the entry page there. And then I will use, let me move these things out of the way temporarily. So I've got my calendar page. Where'd my April card go? So I've got, here's my April card. So this is what I've been using to mark the beginning of the new month. So, although with the calendar going to be in here, this doesn't make much sense here now that, and I don't like a whole bunch of calendars on one spread. So I'm going to look at the rest of this before I decide what should go in there. So I'm getting disorganized already. I'm feeling a little like I have a short attention span today. So let me see. All the feels. Here's the stickers. And then excuse me while I kiss the sky. And then there's the number 4. I like that. And then some tags, and yes, those are just tags and embellishments. Bring on the lessons that come from growth. And then here for spring, this one's another floral, and I like that. So looking at this would either be is that a 2-inch? Yes, it's a 2-inch square, so I could either put a photo in there or journaling. And this gives me another idea. So so if I chose to put a 2-inch square on here, that would lend itself for a 2-inch square of journaling on top as a flip up. So I like that idea. The flip ups are really, I'm feeling the flip ups right now apparently, and I don't usually like them this much. So there's that. And maybe this one goes with this, although I'm not sure that I will like it having a square with all this circles, but it might do well to break up the whole design there. So that's a lot going in that 1 week. So then we have 1 through 4, and then more books, more fun, more sunsets, more laughter, more hugs, more walks, more movement. So there's that. I've got this. Oh, this is this is a journaling card with the color block on the edge. And then signs of spring here for it. And I'm in Arkansas now, so I'm already getting colors for spring. Let's see, life right now, real life looks like this. This one sort of matches this one, so that might be a good connection. If I'm honest, I have to tell you, I still read fairy tales and I like them best of all. Audrey Hepburn said that. May the flowers remind us why the rain was necessary. So here's a situation where there's more of this. So I might use these two together, where you get the cloud background. So I might use those two together and then either cut them so that I have a 6x for the top for journaling, or more likely it'll be 3x for the journaling. And I like this with it because it says, excuse me while I kiss the sky, and then there's that. So maybe that's a good idea to put together. So I'm going to stack those. And I still have the calendar. I have this thing. Here's another vellum flower piece. Here's that thing. Maybe I should put this in the first week, so whatever I don't use, I can pull over to subsequent weeks. I think that's a good idea. And then here's a whole nother of this floral pattern. So I'm liking that too. And I think that's probably the best way to do it, so I can use as much of that in the first week as I want, and then I can carry it throughout the rest of the weeks. I like that idea. So I think that's what I'm going to do. No matter how chaotic it is, wildflowers will still spring up in the middle of nowhere. That's pretty cool. I like that too. So I'm going to set those aside. Let's see. You all can kind of see some of this over here. Here's that calendar. Here's a stripy page. It's not perfect stripes. I like that. And then the more list. Where'd that go? Here we go. So this might be good for a title card and this a filler card in the same week. And this, I like this together. Spring, we're already having spring. And I like this together. These go well together. Where'd that other one go? Life right now. This pulls some of that yellow in. I think I'm going to make this week 2. Does this go with that? I mean, it all goes. Do I like that together? So here's this 1, 2. So I'm going to put these in week 3. And I like these together, this adds a little bit extra. It's so rainy in Arkansas during this month. I think I'm just going to put these together as 3. This one, these together. So this as 2. So I've got this circles, already sort of circles, and then all the feels, April, this shape, which mimics the shape a little bit that's in the Storyteller #1 kit. I'm going to add this Signs of Spring, Life Right Now, insert journaling card, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the more books. So I'm going to make that number 3. And then I think I will just put these leftover little bits, this title card or this word card, and the number 4 and April stories. So we have these, a couple of vellums, and the rain cloud one. So whatever week we end up having where it's really rainy, because we always have a rainy week, I will add those together. I don't think I have a envelope right now. Let me go see if I can find a 6x insert. So I found some 9x12. I don't have any more punched 8x11, and I can't find them. So I will just use these 9x12s for the 4 weeks in April. And I know that I want to use these watercolor ones. So I'm just going to stick these 2 back in here and put these in the album. So this is week 1 here. And then the calendar page on to April. And I'm just going to take a quick flip through my Studio Calico stash and see if there's anything. Ah, there's one right there. Hot dog. I wonder if I have. Nope, just this one. Okay. So, going on to number 4. So I'm going to pull this over and pull the album out of the way. So that I can sort through and see what's left of this. All right. National Arbor Day, Earth Day. So we've got these pages which match this envelope. They're different colors, but that's fine. And then I will have all of these. I could put I can either cut this up into 2 3x4s, or I could just put it as an insert outside of the page protector. And I've got those. And I like this one. I like that pink. This one, you can also see it has some of that right there. And that might look good with the other pink piece from 2020. Oh, I don't have my phone. From 2023. I've already pulled it over into Canva. So if you can kind of see that, in 2023, there was this 5 things in a 6x12 size. Okay, my phone lost some of the video that I did, so I'm just going to start from here. And what I have is the April 2024 Stories by the Month kit from Allie Edwards. I'm going to go ahead and start. This is part of the community story kit, but it matches this April Stories by the Month part. So I don't know which is which. So I'm going to put these together, and what I've decided to do is split it, because there's this pink watercolor looking stuff, and then there's this blue-green watercolor stuff. And what I can do is I think there's 2 more weeks. So there's the 4th week, full week in April, and then there's the 27th through May 3rd. And so I can treat that like a 5th week, or I can use that week to start with the May Stories by the Month kit. And that means I get to choose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this up into two groups. And then I can choose to use this part of it during the month, or I can choose to use it alongside the May Stories by the Month and sort of carry April into May a little bit. I get to choose. And I don't have to choose now, but I can divide it up and put it into 2-page protectors. And I don't know if you saw it when I did it, so I'm going to look at this and say, this is the misprint of this card, and I reprinted it. It's a different blue, and I don't know if maybe I'll choose to reprint this again or not. But the pinks look pretty on point, so instead of tossing this, I can put it, I can back it with a 3x4 card on here, and I think that's okay. Or a 3x4 photo on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start dividing this up, and I'm going to put these two together so that I can use it as an insert, either like this, or I can cut it off. So I could put a photo here or a photo of collages here, maybe for Easter, maybe for, what are the other ones? Earth Day, maybe a day in the life. I could just do that. It just depends on what I feel like. Maybe I could just eat a bunch of burritos on Burrito Day and just show all my burritos on there. All right, and then these lead themselves to the half circle. So I'm going to pull these aside, and I'm just going to start dividing this up into two sets. So I'm just going to, it's got some vellum, and as I touch them, I'm just going to sort of make sure I mix them up a pretty good amount. So I'm going to put that there. Put that there. I could put all of these together if I wanted to, and then do a whole week like this. And you can do the same thing just by cutting out another piece this same size. Maybe I should just put all this in one. I don't know. I'm going to put the 3x4s together. I'm going to stick this one. I'm going to separate these two. This is embellishment, so I'm going to set that to the side. I've got some tags. Love this photo. Let's see. I can just move that over there. This tag over there. So this would be good either as a 4x6 in either direction. More tags. And this is a 1, 2, 3. I like these with the details. Let's see, more tag. There's that. A little story from April. That's a good title. So I'm going to put it here. I like this tag. So what I've done with these previously, let me find a 3x4 card. So I can cut off part of this white part and this pink part, or you can get just a tiny little bit of the pink part, this pink part here, or do it this way. So I can cut it off, just do a strip down the side and then a strip down the middle, and end up with journaling card tat strips. So I'm going to put that over here and leave that in the middle. And then I'll put the 1, 2, 3 over here, and then I will put this together. A flower blooms for its own joy, and I'll stick this here. And I've got the Octothorpe or the hashtag, and then I've got love. I like the love for Easter because I am a Christian and that matters. So I put this with the week of Easter for the love. And then I'll put, this might go well with the week of Easter too. This would be interesting to put 1, 2, 3, and then the journaling, and then 1, 2, 3 with these cards here. So that's possible. Maybe I'll just stick all that in one and these over here separately. And there's nothing that says that I can't make my own. And I'm gonna stick that tag over there, maybe. What else do we got? So we have these. So because I put all of this over here, I think I'm gonna stick this here, and these would go well with some 4x6 photos so that it wouldn't cover up. I don't like covering up the whole photo. One option, again, is to create a flip up with this on top and then journaling over here and maybe a date and then the photo underneath. So that's an idea. So let me do that with the 20, and I'll try and fast forward these parts where I'm writing. Of course. Everything's all amuck. Let's see. Just the facts. An AM PM story would be fun. So let's put those over there. And details, I like that as well. And these can just go back in here. I think I need to go over to Michael's and pick up some mini brads. Let me stick this tag in here. I think I want to put the number on here, so 425. I think I want to do that. And I can do it with number stickers. So I just made a quick little diagram there. And this might go with the bloom pages. So I can put that in the bloom pages. These can go there. I'm not a fan of this, but maybe I can find something to do with it. This might go well with that. And then I'll stick that with the blue. And then I have this. These would be good if I needed tabs to flip up, and these match as well, so I'll stick those there. And then I've got an April looks like this, so this would be good with on a grid card, something like this, so that would be nice there. I think I'm starting to lose some good light depending. So let's stick that there. So this one's going to have a lot of tags and that one's going to have a lot of cards. And I was getting ready to write something down and my brain has completely lost it. Okay. So I've got a 9x12 for this. So I'll stick those in there. And then this is more just cards and tags. Oh, I was going to write the flip up for the half circles and the vellum, because I do have quite a bit of vellum in my stash from purchasing from Hobby Lobby. So that looks okay. So here's what I've drawn for myself so that I can remember. Let me pull it out of the light. So I've got this one. And then I've got my little 4x6. And then I make these little lines to indicate journaling. And then I just write a note for what I'm going to do. So I'll stick those in there. I have to find another page protector for that. And oh, I need to make the note for the All right, so I'm on number 5. So I'll make a note for the 1, 2, 3 card. And then journaling plus the 3x4 cards that just have the photo. And this is a 4x6 card. So times 3. There we go. So I'll remember that. I don't want to forget that because that's a good idea. So I've got those pieces. And I don't know as if these colors go well together, but let's do a quick flip through of them. Okie doke. Here's what I've got. Let me put these in here. So we have this portion of last year's 2024 April Stories by the Month kit with the half circles and the vellum, and I've got an idea for that. So I think I'm going to put this here, even though oh, it looks like I missed one somewhere here. So this is turning out to be a really long video, even though this is where May goes, because May has 5 weeks, so I can combine things if I want to. Let's see. And I'm losing light fast. So this is going to technically be the last full week of May, and it's also Easter Sunday is on the 20th, and Good Friday is on the 18th, the week before. So yes, Easter is on the 20th. And it's just barely on screen. I'm not doing well today, folks, with that. Sorry. And then here's a week of this year's Stories by the Month. And then week 2. And then week 3 along with the calendar page. So I'm going to stick that in front so that I remember. And I have done no scrapbooking for March yet. And today is the 18th, I think. No, today is the 16th. So I'm going to print out some pictures this week and try and get some of that done. So Thanks for hanging out with me today, friends. Smash the like button, hit subscribe if you want to tell the algorithm you want to see more of this stuff. And I'll hope to see you around the internet soon. Bye, friends.